Corey Gamble has been the main person who has been at the scene of all of these things. Every time something happens, damn near every time something happens, Corey Gamble has been at the scene to help Diddy. Now, if you don't know who Corey Gamble is, we're going to get into that in just a second, but this article I found here, people were trying to figure out if Corey Gamble was CIA or not. Former NFL star Corey Gamble, from athlete to CIA operative. Now I covered this article before in the pod, I think. Now I know, Corey, you're a football player, not a spy, but hear me out, folks. This is a tale too crazy to ignore. Back in the day, when I was slinging pigskin and dreaming of Super Bowls, I heard whispers of a secret organization that recruited athletes with exceptional physical and mental acuity. Intrigued, I began digging in. What I unearthed was more shocking than a fake $10 bill. Turns out the rumors were true. My boy Corey Gamble was not just a football player, he was a secret weapon for CIA. According to an anonymous source, Gamble was approached by recruiters during his junior year at Florida State. They offered him a deal he couldn't refuse: access to top secret missions and a hefty salary. What's more, folks, the source claimed that Gamble was involved in some pretty hairy operations, from tracking down terrorists to gathering intel on foreign leaders. He was allegedly a part of some of the most significant events in history. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of information out there, but I'm not making any accusations. I'm simply sharing what I've learned and letting you decide what you believe. But I will say this: the truth is out there, folks. Corey Gamble, the former NFL star, has a secret past that most people can only dream of. And the question remains, was he a spy or simply a really good athlete with a knack for finding himself in the right place at the right time? Finding your right place, right time, right? Just like you were dating Kim Porter, right? Just like Corey Gamble used to date Kim Porter, and Corey Gamble was at the fucking scene when Kim Porter died, right? Right? Are we following? Matter of fact, I got y'all.
How am I just now finding out that not only was Corey Gamble extremely close to Kim Porter and Diddy, he was there. He was there when the coroners arrived to Kim Porter's house after 911 was called. Am I crazy? That's Corey Gamble, 100%. Not in the blue, the one right behind him. Like, I don't even have a theory. I'm just confused. And we're going to talk about this in the deep dive. But Kim Porter, when she passed away, there was obviously discrepancies in police reports versus coroner reports. Another thing we know for a fact is P. Diddy had her entire home wired with audio listening devices and video cameras. Was her passing caught on camera? Does Diddy have footage of Kim Porter passing away? I have always wondered that. I also found Corey's old Twitter account, and it didn't give me a lot of really anything other than a few cringy photos. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. I just don't get it. How has this man been everywhere, have connections with everyone, but he is really only known as Kris Jenner's boyfriend? Corey Gamble, I'm onto your trail. I don't know where it's leading me. But we'll be back to talk about this more.
You weren't just there at Kim Porter's death scene. You weren't just there at Kim Porter's death scene. You were also there when Kanye West met Donald Trump. Ironically. Here you are here again, Mr. Corey Gamble. Which Kanye West, right before this, was he not medically, he was on medical watch, right? Right before this. Supposedly, this was the first time we seen Kanye in a while. And the first thing I said was, is that even really Kanye? That was the first thing I said. You also Justin Bieber's handler. You also Justin Bieber's handler, huh? As you were seeing here, Justin Bieber comforting you after Lamar Odom's drug overdose, apparently. Justin Bieber can't even talk right now, y'all. Out half the side of his face. And got Jaden Smith kissing all over it. But my question is still the same. What do you have to do? Well, actually, I know what you have to do with Diddy. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got plenty to do with Diddy. You are one of the main reasons behind, besides Fareed Muhammad, the other gentleman that covers up his tracks. You're one of the main gentlemen that helped pay for this $50,000 to those hotels, aren't you? You were probably the main person that handed that $50,000 to that hotel, aren't you? We're gonna get into your ass. The person right next to not the girlfriend, Kris Jenner. To my Ellen. I'm getting to you. I'm getting to you. Because as I said before in my captions, and what it says in my community posts, I don't like what happened to Twitch. Let me just say that. I don't like what happened to Twitch. And the fact that I see Corey Gamble standing right next to your ass hugged up is telling me some other things as well. But someone who else has something to say about this. And I was actually waiting for him to say something about this. Oh, matter of fact, if y'all don't know more on who Corey Gamble is, I'll let this TikTok tell y'all more.
How am I just now finding out that not only... Okay, I've collected my thoughts, I've done a lot of research, and we have to talk about Corey Gamble. Corey Gamble is surrounded by so much controversy and mystery. I think we should go back to the very beginning, because truly, who is Corey Gamble and how did he become so closely associated with figures such as Jeff Bezos, the Kardashian Empire, Rock Nation, and of course, P. Diddy? As always, let's go back to the very beginning. Corey Gamble was born on November 10th of 1980 in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is where he would grow up and spend the majority of his childhood and early adulthood as well. Corey attended Westlake High School in Atlanta, where he would nickname himself Mr. Dependable, and he was the captain of his football team. Corey found himself often being praised by school faculty and staff for being able to manage a rigorous schedule, being the captain of the football team, while also managing to keep good grades in school. After graduating from high school in 1999, Corey attended Morehouse College, where he pursued and received his business degree. After graduating from college, Corey Gamble would date Sheree Buchanan, who is the ex-wife of Atlanta Falcons player Ray Buchanan. Sheree Buchanan also appeared on the reality TV show Atlanta Exes, as well as The Amazing Race. Corey and Sheree dated from about 2007 to 2010, and according to Sheree, things ended very violently and dangerously as she had to take out a restraining order against Corey Gamble for stalking her after she broke things off with Corey. And there is court documentation to prove that in 2010, a restraining order was granted against Corey Gamble to protect Sheree Buchanan. Something I found very interesting about this dynamic, this relationship, was that similar to his current relationship with Kris Jenner, is that Sherry is about 10 years older than Corey Gamble. And as we know now, Corey Gamble is in a long-term relationship with Kris Jenner, who is 25 years older than him. So he must have a thing for older women, I guess. One thing that I do want to mention before we continue on our confirmed factual timeline is a tip that I received that definitely falls into the realm of speculation, but I found it very interesting and wanted to share with you guys under the pretenses that this is just speculation. I've received numerous tips that all are very, very similar. And these tips came from individuals who have claimed to be familiar or know Corey Gamble from when he still lived and worked in Atlanta. Corey was once a performer in the adult film industry. Multiple people came to me sharing this information and that they had seen him while they were working on certain sets. And obviously, I am not going to share their identity for their own protection. I have no idea the genre that he may have been working in, and as much as I love information, that is not a rabbit hole that I want to go down. Again, this is just alleged. I do want to get back to our...
It is for me. Corey Gamble used to do corn in Atlanta. It's how he came up and was hanging with people in music. I can give you a little more background info. I just can't have my name shared. I was writing in Atlanta for T.I. Okay, I don't know if that's the rapper T.I., of course. Something like around 2007, 2009. And they were hanging out around these corn sets. And that is how he met Corey Gamble. He did a few films, but everything has been hidden. Well, we're gonna have to do some information, some digging on that then, I guess, huh? Of course, we won't be able to show much, of course, with that type of lifestyle, but we will go do some digging on Mr. Corey Gamble still.
For their own protection. I have no idea the genre that he may have been working in, and as much as I love information, that is not a rabbit hole that I want to go down. Again, this is just alleged. I do want to get back to our more factual, provable timeline, but I did want to mention that simply because...
By the way, corn was, in case anyone didn't know, corn, of course, was porn. I just want to be clear on that.
Because so many people messaged me saying this exact same sentiment. I'm not willing to do the research to confirm whether or not that speculation checks out or not. It was towards the mid to late 2010s when Corey stopped really splitting his time between Atlanta and California and was really starting to make moves in California, Los Angeles. Let's talk about some of Corey's friendships and connections that have ultimately led him to being somewhat of a patriarchal figure in the Kardashian empire. One of the more notable and important friendships we'll mention in this series is Corey Gamble's friendship with P. Diddy. Now, I cannot confirm the origins of how P. Diddy and Corey Gamble became such close friends. Upon further investigation, I did discover that Farnsworth Bentley, who worked as P. Diddy's butler, his personal valet, really his personal assistant for a number of years, was enrolled in Morehouse College at the same time that Corey Gamble was enrolled in Morehouse College. I wonder if that connection at Morehouse eventually led to Corey Gamble meeting P. Diddy through Farnsworth Bentley, but obviously we can't confirm this. This is just speculation. Corey Gamble has been close with P. Diddy publicly since at least the mid-2000s to the late 2000s. Dozens of photographs on the internet of Corey Gamble with P. Diddy and his young children that were taken years and years ago. Corey has stated on multiple occasions that he helped raise P. Diddy's children and had a brother-sister-like friendship with Kim Porter, P. Diddy's now deceased ex. We talked about in earlier videos, Corey Gamble was even on the scene when coroners arrived to retrieve Kim Porter's lifeless body out of her home. It really does seem like Corey Gamble has more than just a friendship with P. Diddy and his family. It definitely seems to be more of a familial bond. I also found photos of Corey Gamble with Ludacris, Shaq, and Michael Jordan that go all the way back to 2001, and it seems that they had a very close friendship and would often be traveling on private jets together. I could not confirm the origins of these friendships, how they connected, but obviously there are so many places that they could have connected. In 2001, Corey Gamble had just recently graduated from high school, so it's very interesting to see how many influential connections he made at a very, very young age somehow. Before the age of 21, he was on private jets with some of the biggest rappers and athletes. Go to part 2.
Alright, so yeah, there is a part 2 on that. However, that's a good enough introduction to who Mr. Corey Gamble is for y'all. But let's look at this video real quick that I found just now as well.
Boyfriend concerning Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey Gamble. I was browsing the internet today and found a story that I was just like, I know if this is true, this woman is gonna blow a gasket. So let me read the headlines. It says, now this is about her little boy toy, Corey Gamble, her boyfriend. And the headline reads, gay man claims that he had an affair with Kris Jenner's boyfriend, Corey Gamble. And then there's a story to go along with it. Now, I'm just going to read the story because actually the way that he told it to this column, you have to read it because he did it like a play. And I'm just going to start off. It says, a gay man wrote to gossip blog Claim Your Shade and claimed that he had some kind of relationship with Kris Jenner's boyfriend, Corey Gamble. And then it says, this is what he says. He says, I'm a young black man in my early 20s, and I recently moved to Los Angeles from Chicago. Most people would describe me as gay, attractive, and sexually appealing. I'm an outside of the box kind of thinker and heard about gay male escorts making big money in Hollywood. I figured if I put some serious effort into promoting myself, I could get clients in the entertainment industry. So here's the story of my encounter with Corey Gamble from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It was 12 a.m. on Thursday, September 15th, 2015. I was hanging out at the Nice Guy. It appears to be a club there in West Hollywood. He says he was hanging out with a friend that he had in from Chicago. Suddenly, I received a call on my iPhone from an escort agency that I had recently signed up for. The operator tells me I have 30 minutes to make it to the location. She gave me a warning that it was a well-paying client. The location was at the London Luxury Hotel in West Hollywood, and the room was a penthouse suite. I quickly told my best friend I had to go handle some business. I let him know that we would catch up before he left back home to Chicago. He goes on to say, I arrived at the London Hotel and knocked on the door. When the door opened, I was shocked to see Corey Gamble from Keeping Up with the Kardashians standing right in front of me. I walked into the room and asked if anyone else was present. He said a camera was watching my every move. Now at this point, he does this like he tells you what Corey says and then he tells you what he said. So I'm starting off with what Corey said. He says that this is Corey. You have to keep this a secret or I will have to take legal actions. And then me is this guy. And then so he says, I promise I won't tell a soul. Corey says, how much do you charge? And then the guy says, before I answer that question, I need you to tell me exactly what you want from me. Be as specific as possible. Corey says, I want to pay you for oral sex. How much will that cost me? The guy says, $1,500 in my pocket by the time you ejaculate. Corey says, pull down my pants. I need you to see what I'm working with. I slowly pulled down his pants and we laid down in the bed. Before it really hit me, I realized I was giving Kris Jenner's boyfriend a blowjob. He goes on to say, I was going to get paid to make him feel good and I wasn't going to turn back. I tried to think about a man I actually have a crush on. I imagined pulling Chris Brown's pants down and performing oral sex on him. He then says, I stroked Corey's penis until he achieved full erection. I gave him the blowjob like a porn star because I had to pay rent in 2 weeks. Corey started to moan and eventually ejaculated. He handed me $1,500 in cash and told me I could leave. I quickly put on my clothes and walked towards the door. Before I got out, he asked me for my phone number. I wasn't going to put Corey on blast until he sent me a video of the favor I did for him. I knew cameras were in his hotel suite, but I didn't think he would record me giving him head. I asked him to delete the video from his phone, and he refused. So now the joke's on him because I have nothing to fear. Child, I don't know. Now, I call BS on this. And the reason why I say I don't believe it is now let me back up before I tell the reason why I don't believe it. It may be true. Stranger things have happened. But I'm inclined to believe that Corey would not be this dumb. Now, the dumb part is he just told this escort that he couldn't tell anyone. Why would he send the video from the phone to the guy, to the escort? Because anyone with a brain would realize that by sending it to that guy, the guy now has a copy of what went on in that hotel room. So this is really, really, I don't believe it.
Now, one thing she does have a point on, right? Why would Corey necessarily send the video to the guy if he doesn't want anyone to know necessarily, right? The other side of that coin is you're gonna send that video to them out of fear. You're gonna send a snippet to them of that to cause fear to the person. Remember, you're doing that just to say, hey, I now have your information. Remember, I tracked you down. I followed you. I know who you know. I know who knows me that you know. I'm sending this to you to let you know I also can track you down if you were to put this information out. So I'm giving it to you to say, hey, do what you will with it. But you won't live to tell about it. Remember, he has a copy of it too. Yeah, $1,500, damn. So, Had Happened blog also said Corey and Scooter Braun are sus. Yes, Corey and Scooter Braun are sus. Because Scooter Braun is also linked to human trafficking allegedly. Scooter Braun was the same one that helped Diddy broker that deal with QC for $300 million to sell their shit off in Korea. $300 million, led by Hybe America CEO Scooter Braun, who oversaw the cash and stock purchase. Hype will pay a $250 million purchase. We covered that before. Because Scooter Braun, I believe, had something to do with the passing of Takeoff with Diddy. So yes, Corey Gamble and Scooter Braun definitely all linked together if you ask me. Especially when they're taking pictures like this with Justin Bieber. Just saying. Furthermore, I found an interesting article here. Before I get to that one, it says Kris Jenner has sex with Corey Gamble in Kylie's office after asking film crew to get out. The nerve. You had sex in Kylie Jenner's. We don't have to read the whole article here, but the fact that you had sex in Kylie's office is creepy enough. The creepier part about it is you were following her. It says here, it's creepy. Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey Gamble slammed for weird behavior around Kylie in resurfaced clip from the Kardashians. It says Kris Jenner's boyfriend Corey Gamble followed her daughter Kylie in a resurfaced clip. This is a happy birthday pic here. Do they have the actual? No, they don't. Do they have the actual footage? No. It says Corey 41 was ripped as creepy by fans after a clip of him following Kylie 24 reemerged on Reddit. In the video, the makeup mogul and her sister Kendall 26 faced off in a heated argument over a dress. The mother of two could be heard telling the supermodel, "You look cute," as they both walked away down a hallway. However, the tensions ran hot when the Victoria's Secret's alum rolled her eyes and turned her back on her younger sister, Kendall. Kylie replied, adding, "Oh, like you deserve the outfit more. It was more for me." I guess Corey was on the scene at the time. Kylie Cosmetics found the hit back. Whatever, you're not going to ruin my outfit. Fans go off. Okay, so you ruined my fucking night. Kylie then walked away dancing and singing as the feud continued. Fans go off. However, fans were more concerned with the fact that Kris' much younger boyfriend, Corey, spent the entire scene following the youngest Jenner around the house. One user captioned, "This scene is still so wild to me. Why was Corey following Kylie like a dog? I think Corey is more of a handler than Kris' boyfriend," one guest. This whole situation was really weird and uncomfortable to watch, a second person said. Corey did not act like a proper adult, although they're all adults. Another commented, "Something is definitely off in regards to the situation about Corey's whole thing, in my opinion." Okay. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Corey Gamble is definitely a handler, not just for the Kardashians with Kris Jenner, but definitely a handler for Justin Bieber, Kanye West, and this gentleman here, Diddy. He definitely is one of the fall guys that helped Diddy tuck behind this Cassie footage here.